It is the primate debate that has social media sort of monkeying around. How many of these are we going to do, guys? Like 7? Who would win in a fight, 100 men or 1 gorilla? People have been kicking this question around all week, especially on social media, including up in our newsroom. We actually debated this because there's nothing else to talk about this week, right? So we wanted to get the perspective of an expert. Shannon McFarlin is the science director at the, I hope I'm going to say this, Dian Fossey Gorilla Fund. I hope I said that right. And an associate professor of anthropology at George Washington University. It's good to have you with us. Thank you. I guess, you know, I remember when people were saying who would win in a fight, Batman or Superman, and I was like, you can't do that, nor would I want to see them fight. But in this case, who do you think would win, 100 men or 1 gorilla?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. And I have to say, I love talking about gorillas. So for me, it's really been fun to see how this question has captured so much fascination on social media. And it's actually an interesting question. And I think we'd be tempted to, at first, to say the gorilla would win, because as the largest living primates on the planet, a silverback male gorilla in particular brings just a lot of power to that fight, right? They have tremendous upper body strength. They have really strong jaws, large, sharp canine teeth. So they probably do very well in a matchup against 1 human or maybe 10 humans. But humans also have other advantages, of course. So we are known for our endurance or our capacity to sustain activity for a long period of time compared to other mammals. And of course, we're also just really good at coordinating our behavior. So I think it would really come down to just the sheer numbers here. Don't get me wrong, I think there would be some very unlucky humans in this fight. But if the humans were being strategic, maybe taking turns or approaching the gorilla in waves, I think unfortunately over time the gorilla would probably get pretty tired and ultimately the humans would win out in that fight.
Yeah, I think just a good rule of thumb is anybody who pounds on their chest like that, don't fight them. And also I'd want to be like the 50th or 60th human in. That's what I've been thinking about it. But science aside, you know, we're joking here, but you are an expert in this particular field. So one just quick question. Do you find this a silly, sort of a dumb thing to even talk about? I know it brings up the topic of gorillas, and my next question is a serious one for you, but did this amuse you this week?
It did amuse me. And I think it really, you know, it goes back to that long-term fascination that we've had with gorillas. And I think it also brings us to this interesting contrast between how we think of gorillas as these ferocious animals that are often depicted in movies versus how gorillas actually are in the wild. And they're really much more like gentle giants, as we sometimes call them, than they are these ferocious animals that are depicted in movies.
Right. So A, let's not fight them. And B, I have this question for you. The fight you say we should be talking about is gorilla survival.
Yes, yes. And it's true that humans have historically posed a threat to gorillas, although not in the way that we're talking about right now, in other much more serious ways. So through decades of habitat destruction, activities that lead to the degradation or the loss of the forest that the gorillas live in, through hunting and many other more serious risks to gorilla survival. And so as a result, today, gorillas as a whole, including most subspecies of gorillas, are considered critically endangered, which is really just one small step away from extinction. So the mountain gorillas that I've spent most of my time studying are represented today by only about 1,000 individuals remaining in the wild.
Wow.
So that's one of the things that I think excites me about this renewed fascination with gorillas is because it's coming at a time when we are facing the very real risk of losing this incredible animal from our planet.
Well, I think that it's a horrible thing you just described, but I'm glad that we have this silly debate this week so we could talk about something real like that. Shannon McFarlin, thanks so much for taking the time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.